Hey, welcome to your day off. My name is Corey, and I'm sitting here with a couple best friends, but co-hosting with me today is Money Misty Jane from the Starting Messy. Why can't I ever get that out? Starting Messy podcast.
I don't know. It's not that hard.
I know. It's all in my head, bro.
Thanks for having me, Corey.
Dude, I'm glad you're here. I'm way glad you're here. It's so cool that we could kind of do this. Also, a big shout out to Premiere Orlando. We are live at Premiere Orlando. Another major shout out to Rachel Brill, who's our contact here, and she's been taking care of us for quite a few years here. So I just appreciate being here. This is by far my favorite. Oh fuck, I can't say that. Sorry, Frank. This is by far my favorite podcast. I mean, my favorite podcast, my favorite show. This is your first time, though, right?
Yes, to Premiere, absolutely, yeah.
How's it going?
It's good. It's a lot.
It's a lot, right?
It's a lot, yeah.
But that's in a good way, right?
Oh, it's a great. I mean, I have seen so many friends. You know, I've got to hug so many people. A lot of like past mentors and things like that. So it's been great. I'll definitely be back next year.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We'll make a seat at the table for you next year too.
Absolutely.
We can kind of do that.
I'm just gonna come and show up. So you know.
I mean, that's it. That's it, right? I saw a bunch of your friends yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Like Shelby. And
oh yeah,
Elizabeth
Shelby,
and all them.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So we fuck. I lost my train of thought. Damn it. It's your fault, Misty.
Sorry.
Ryan Weeden. That's okay. That guy.
Oh yeah,
that
guy, we have to talk to him too. You know?
Here's what I want to say about Premiere is that last night we were out, and what's really cool, this is what people were saying, is that this year people came to shop. You know, so the vendors seem really happy. We have a vendor here at the table, so we'll ask him too. But the vendors seem to be really happy with the turnout this year too, as well. Which, because in years past, like there would be the people, but there wouldn't be the dollars. But it seems like the dollars, that might say something about like where we are as an industry as well.
Yeah, I mean the lines out there are like nuts.
I keep hearing recession, but people are spending money.
Yeah, I'm like, where?
I know, right?
But I'm loving the two-story booths.
The booths this year are ridiculous.
It's very, very cool.
It's like, it's no longer like, and I don't know who did it first, if there was a first or whatever, but it's no longer like the 10 by 10 with the black curtains.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, okay, that's a place I need to be.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it kind of draws you in, like you have to be in that space. You know?
Yeah, I love it.
It's pretty cool. So our guest today is Mr. Ryan Weeden. I'm super excited to have Ryan because Ryan has invited us to do the red carpet interviews at Mob Hero in Nashville. What are those dates? September 20th?
Ask Amanda.
Amanda's okay.
I'll go to the website real quick. It's September 20th, 21st, I think.
21st, yeah.
That weekend.
That's cool. Dude, first off, as a friend, dude, just to keep watching you grow is amazing. Like I remember just a few years ago, it was like Mob was kind of almost this concept, and now it's the thing, you know? That's really cool. And it's also kind of cool to watch, like, to take like, I don't know how to really explain this, but almost like a niche technique as what balayage was, and then to create an entire like universe around that.
Community around it.
Yeah, totally.
When did you start Masters of Balayage?
2016.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's been almost 10 years. That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's so crazy, man. And then walk me through the hero thing. Walk me through my weekend there, Ryan.
Oh, your weekend. Okay. Well, it's going to be fun. I mean, the people that go to Hero are there for a very high level experience. They know that they're not just going to sit back and watch a hair show. They're going there because they're interested not only in learning newest techniques and trending ideas, but also because they want to leave transformed in a sense of learning how to make more money, learning how to become better business owners, learning how to become more creative entrepreneurs, and leaving with actual tools that they can use, not just with that hype you get after a show. You know, you're really on fire for like a week. You're like, oh, I'm so inspired. And then a week after that, you're just like, well, I didn't really learn any ways to build new habits to support this and fuel my journey. Whereas we give them the tools to do that. Our speakers, we've got so many incredible speakers. We've got people that are mostly in the industry, but we have some that are outside of the industry that are world-renowned coaches. We've got this incredible guy, Mel Abraham's going to be there. He's got a book. It's about you're making money, and he's a financial accountant by trade. He's just, the people that we have here at the show are life changers, and they dedicate their life to doing that. And they would do it for free. Most of them really would do it for free, and of course we got to pay them, or else we're going to look douchey. but we're not. We do have a limited budget, and they're still just like, hell yeah, whatever you're doing, I want to be part of it, and that's who we want to surround ourselves with. And I feel like we've built a platform that's very egoless, that we're very humble, that nobody's better than anybody else. We just all want to support each other, even when somebody else is doing better than us. You know, we want to lift them up at all times because we know that it's always going to come back full circle. So your time there on the red carpet, you're going to be interviewing and chatting with some of the coolest, most high-achieving hairdressers there that are there for a good time, but there to better their lives.
No pressure, Corey. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure felt, miss. No pressure felt at all. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. I like the idea of a red carpet interview because you're in and out. Right? It's like 30 seconds. Why are you here? Why are you excited? You know, tell us what you're bringing, and then.
You talk, and you're great at talking, and this is your thing. You know, you really have a beautiful way of connecting with people.
Well, I appreciate that, Ryan.
And I just know that people are going to be like, oh my gosh, not only are you going to be there, your platform's insane, but you know the right questions to ask to pull out that real, genuine response, that authenticity that is so needed in the world today.
Okay, now I feel the pressure.
You know what?
No, dude, there's no pressure. Just don't fuck up.
Noted. That's all. So Hero's more like it's not like an award show or where you would see a traditional red carpet, or is it?
No,
like an award
it's not
show?
an award show.
Okay.
No, we have in the past incorporated awards, and we are going to hand out a Hero Award, but that's going to be something that's in the middle of the show. That's not something that's going to.
It's not a award
hype
show. It's just
that's a whole other event.
It's just a recognition of some people.
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of almost like a bunch of TED Talks in a way, mixed in like every other session. We have balayage, we've got extensions, we've got hair cutters. You know, Jacob and Ben are going to be there. They always laugh it up. Oh yeah, you know what they have to do every single show? They have to say, "This is our idea. Can you approve it?" because they've been so questionable sometimes. God love them. They've been on our show. They've been on our floor so many times.
I watched them yesterday
and
on the
we love them.
stage, and
yeah. But you know, it's Ben and it's them.
Did you see them last night at Naha?
No, we were out at dinner on dancing on tables at
listen.
Gosh.
They trolled the industry so good last night.
I love it.
So it's Naha, so everyone's dressed up and they're in their Grammys best and stuff.
Yeah.
Those fuckers showed up in Dumb and Dumber tuxedos with the top hats, like orange and blue. You know what I mean?
Insane. Putting the vibe out.
Putting the vibe out. It's the funniest thing ever, man. Like when they walk in. So last night we were at the bar when they walked in, like after Naha, and they like all the winners are walking in and everyone's getting their like applause and like everyone's really happy. And then Ben and Jacob walk in and all the attention was on them in those Dumb and Dumber suits with the ruffles and all. It was the greatest thing I'd ever seen, and the whole room is just laughing in unison.
They're so quick and so creative. I remember the first time we were at one of the first times at Hero. It was 2020. It was okay. So 2021 because we had our show. When was this? I can't remember. There was 2020 or 2021 where everybody still freaked out about COVID.
Mm-hmm. Both years.
Most of the audience was in masks, and they get on stage, and Jacob has the mic, and he's just like, "All right, everybody, turn to the person on your left and cough." And he says, "Okay, we're all in this together now." Amanda and I look at each other, who's our executive product manager, and we're just like, "Oh my God, here we go."
Here we go. Here comes the lawsuit.
Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves.
I love it.
That's so awesome, man. That's so great.
So it sounds like a great mix of
Yeah.
fun and inspiration and education and all the things. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
I was inspired by Tony Robbins, by those events, by specifically Brendan Burchard.
Mm-hmm.
I went to one of his events in, I think it was 2018, and it was called Influencers in San Diego. And it was one of those, it was like, we structure ours in a similar way, where you never knew who was coming next. There wasn't, it was just like, the doors open at 9, they close at 6.
Yeah.
You know, and lunches from here to here. In between, there's zero lineup. That way nobody ever leaves their seat. They never know what's coming next, and they never want to miss. They know the speakers, but they don't want to get out of their seat because they don't. You know, Ryan Weeden might be next.
Right.
That's
smart.
Is it time for lunch?
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. And I don't know if like it's just a blind spot for me or not, but like I love like over the last, we'll call it 5 years. It doesn't matter about the years, but like how there's so much like outside influence being brought into our space. I mean, and I think I mean maybe, but for so many years, like the brands created the narrative and stuff, and like they wanted everything within like to look like hairdressing, to feel like hairdressing. And it's so cool to watch like these independent things that we're doing, and we're like, oh, there's also people outside of the industry that can really affect or make an impact inside the industry, which I absolutely love, because I think it forces the industry to look at itself as a little different, as opposed to
Right.
being like this insular kind of thing.
Well, we're more than just hairdressers. You know what I mean? There's
Absolutely.
always that, oh, you're just a hairdresser. And it's like, we're so much more than that. And we do so much more for the community. You know what I mean? Like, we
Right.
literally, like, everyone needs us. Everyone needs us
Right.
to some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And we give so much to it. And it's so nice to finally see that, like, the industry is giving back to us in different ways, not just like, here's some brushes, here's some color education. you
And
know?
the problem with having a label like a hairstylist, and sadly, the people that actually tell us that are the people that we trust and we love. Haters, we don't care. They call us a hairstylist. You're like, go fuck off.
Right.
But but if it's like your mom or your dad or your best friend or your spouse, and they're just like, when are you going to get a real job? You're never going to make enough to support a family or live a rich life. And that's actually what happened to me. Somebody called me just a hairstylist. And once you have that label, you have a ceiling. You're limited on where you can go because your mindset is limited, because you start to accept it. You start to see like, well, I'm not making a lot of money. I don't have a lot of clients. I don't see a big future in this. So once we remove
This
the
industry
label,
sucks.
once we remove that label, then our we don't have a ceiling. Our potential is unlimited. Our value is priceless. And once we can get around that and realize that we're not just a hairstylist, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're mothers, we're fathers, we're spouses, we're creatives, we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we're so many things, then suddenly there is no ceiling and we can reach for the damn stars.
Yeah.
What was your breakthrough?
Funny enough, my breakthrough was reaching to people outside of the industry, learning from people outside of the industry. When you were saying that, I attribute almost all my success in this business to learning from people outside of the business, because I was a hairstylist before I learned how to become an online marketer, how to become a how to speaker, how to become an educator. And I actually had quit doing hair. I actually didn't see the potential. Somebody called me just a hairstylist, somebody very close to me, and I didn't see it in myself. I didn't have a track record of proof to show myself and to prove to myself that, I can do more than this, because I'm like, I can't. And I was a great fucking hairdresser, but I didn't see the potential. So I quit doing hair for a few years, tapped into a lot of other resources, tried some other careers, but then I started following Brendon Burchard and Tony Robbins and so many people that actually knew, that started to take me under their wing and teach me about online marketing, teach me about product creation. I didn't have any products or skills to really utilize at that point. But then I'm like, okay, I started to see a bigger picture in direction in my life, and it started to fuel my journey. I'm like, okay, I am going to pick a niche skill, turn it into my superpower, get really good at it, and then I can start to see the future where I'm going to start educating, create a brand that's bigger than myself. Then I can create education and then online marketing and do all this stuff. And then once I started to put all these pieces together, my life changed, my impact changed, my reach changed, and here we are today.
That's amazing.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
During that time, especially in that transition, what was like, what were the things going through your head that was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that?
About quitting hair?
No, about starting what you have created now.
I didn't have a choice.
Okay.
I had tried.
Options is the powerful thing.
I didn't have a choice.
Like
I tried everything else. I tried to be a real estate agent. I tried to be, an actor. I tried to be, I tried corporate life. I tried so many things that didn't fit. And for years, people just thought I was lost and like, he's never going to figure out
Well, you
his
were.
life. I was very lost, but I wasn't lost in the sense of like, I'm never going to find my way. I was searching. I didn't realize I was searching, but I was not going to settle with something I didn't love. And then I started to lead with my passion and find a way to monetize my passion. And then it fueled that journey. And from that point on, I was just like, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to have these big picture goals. I'm going to have dreams, and I'm going to chase them hell or high water.
Yeah, fuck the glass ceiling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
That's
that.
amazing. I love that too. Have you when you name a company Masters of Balayage, and balayage is like a technique, it's like super niche down. Is there any worry or any concern, or maybe that's the wrong way to kind of frame it, but being niche down to like balayage, if like techniques or something change, does that also hurt the brand?
Absolutely. There's always that
potentially
chance.
Yeah.
Balayage was an early trend that, of course it's been around for, eons, whatever, but we call it like modern balayage, the new balayage with the teasing. And I started out as hand painting. That was like probably one of the best ways to actually get the flow and learn the skills and foundation. But then it started to evolve, and we were some of the forerunners of like helping that to evolve. And what was cool about that is started to find out that like, okay, well, instead of following the trends, create the trends. And then once you build that audience, it's like then you are actually directing where it's going to go. And as long as we keep evolving our skills and don't get comfortable with like doing the same thing over and over again, we're trying to be better every year, trying to teach new things, trying to see where we want to take it, not where it's going, but what are our clients wanting, what are the stylists excited about, and go in different directions and keep that spark alive.
Where do you guys get your inspiration for like for what's next, essentially?
I'm always about like how can we be faster, better, more efficient, make more money. That is the key for everybody. You know, we always talk about, oh, my clients love me. They'll spend all day with me, and it's great. We have the best time. We drink wine. We tell stories. I'm like, sure. They love it because they know it's going to take fucking hours, right? So they just suck it up and they do it, and they love you. They absolutely love it, and I agree with that. But I bet you they would love getting out there half the time, 2 hours earlier,
Right.
and they would pay more for that.
Yep.
That's what we don't understand as hairstylists. The better we get, the faster we get, the more we should charge for it, because not everybody can do that.
Yep.
And we're giving the most valuable asset in life, which is time. The more time
It's really the
we
only
can
asset
give
in life.
our clients, the more they're going to pay for it.
God, I could not agree more.
That's such that's an interesting take, because we're not we all as a group, but there's some people that are getting into like hourly charging and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which kind of works against it. Well, maybe or maybe not though, because also now you can fit in another person.
It depends on how you structure it, I think. Yeah. I mean, you are capping your out, you know exactly what you're going to make in a day, and I guess that's good to some levels, because you're not going to be undercharging. I think it's good for the frequent underchargers, the ones that just emotionally undercharge, but that comes to boundaries. That comes to like learning, okay, setting yourself up for success starts with your outward facing website, your prices are there, then the consultation. You need to meet and talk about and agree on, this is either the range this service is going to fall into, or this is what it's going to cost. Like, this is a starting point. Never give an end price at the start, because you don't know where it's going to go. But you need to be clear on what you are charging, so that way by the time you get to the end of the service, you don't have that trepidation that starts to fill up and be like, oh gosh, I got done a lot faster than I thought. I don't feel comfortable charging them the full price. It's little Susie. She's been coming to me for 50 years. Like, I just love her. I don't want to lose her as a client. We need to start thinking about ourselves, our own self-worth, our own responsibilities as adults. We've got families. We've got things we want to do, trips we want to take. We don't want to have that financial stress. We are in a luxury business too. We're not essential. I know during COVID, we're like, oh, we're essential. Like, make us essential. Like, I get it. We're essential to us. We didn't put food on our table. But
we're essential to our families.
Yeah. But you don't see anybody, in the ER be like, I haven't got a fucking haircut. I need a haircut.
My roots hurt.
But the thing is, my roots hurt. This is so great. I don't know what to do. But the thing is, it's like, we need to understand we are in a luxury business, and that's a goddamn blessing, because we can charge luxury prices and feel good about it. And the ones that say like, oh no, I would never do that to my clients, is because they're that old school thinking. They're blocking themselves. In their mind, they have labeled themselves as a hairstylist, and that's what we need to break.
The internal conversation that I've been having, certainly over the last couple of years, as our prices continue to rise, certainly with like foils and color and stuff like that, is that like, I'm not paying for you to come. So like, if I'm paying extra for foils, or if my rent goes up or whatever, like, now I'm literally paying you to come and see me.
Yeah.
Right. So like once I started to see it that way, and I opened that up as like, well, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here working for you, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the money conversation is so important, right?
Yeah.
Because we're putting our own money beliefs on our clients.
Absolutely.
And it's affecting us, and it's just this big cycle of like, oh, like I'm never going to have enough, but you're literally not even like figuring out how to have enough or more than we need, right?
Right.
It's, yeah.
And really, one of the best times to raise prices is when things go up in price, when the government raises prices, when the tariffs come. That's a gift. It sucks, because everything becomes more expensive. But to our businesses, that's a gift, because everybody expects all the prices to go up. That's when you raise your prices, because you just be like, It's the way of, and then you just keep them there.
Yeah.
And
but the truth is too is that when you do that, you're seen as a business. As opposed to,
that's part of the problem.
Individual,
right? It's like,
I think so.
You treat your career like a hobby, then you're going to get paid like a hobby, right? Like,
part of, but let's be clear too. Like, 1 month my color goes up, the next month my foils go up, the next month we have tariffs. Like how often can we do? Like you also don't want to be like when you have a client in your chair and it's so unpredictable every time that they're in. And I refuse to have the conversation about like money anyways with my clients. In that sense, and I certainly don't want to have it every time they come in the door.
Like over explain your prices.
Listen, I'm a big believer that, and listen, I'm behind the chair 30 years. I've got clients I've been doing for 25, 27 years and stuff. So like, there's not this big thing, but I'll raise my prices and I don't make a big production about it, because here's the truth, at least with my clientele, is that if I tell people that I raise my prices, I have to have that conversation 200 times. If I don't tell it, I have to have that conversation once or twice.
Right.
And already who you're having that conversation with before you raise your prices. You know what I mean? But I would much rather have one difficult conversation than 200 like justification conversations. You know what I mean? So like I just raise them. What I was doing, and actually I'll delete that. What I was doing, but what I was doing is I was just raising my prices every year. January 1st, it was there was no discussion. There was no anything about it. And I think people then that became the expectation for that. But I didn't do it last year because I kind of felt bad because I'd been doing it and like I did like a 20% jump at like COVID, all the stuff. Anyways, so I didn't do it this last year. But now it's like I'm feeling pressure. But then I'm also kind of waiting for everything in real talk. I'm kind of waiting for where are we going to balance out, right? Like at some point with all this, it's so unpredictable about where to put my prices because I can either undercut myself or I can go way over where I should be. Does this make sense?
Absolutely. And I have a few things to talk about because I love this conversation about when to raise prices and how to raise prices so you don't lose clients that you need to sustain your own life. That's what everybody's fear is, right? We raise our prices too much, we're going to lose all of our clients, we're going to lose our income and our way of living. I would challenge you, instead of raising it on January 1st, do it in October before the busy season.
Yep.
Because at that point, people are going to book their appointment regardless. Starting January 1st, they're already used to the new prices, and that's usually our slowest month anyway. So if you raise them in January, they're already like, maybe I'll just wait. I spent all my money from Christmas.
Well, nobody wants to find a new hairstylist at Christmas when they're going to see all their family and friends.
So you use it early when they're not thinking about it. They're just like, I'm going no matter what.
You're blackmailing your clients.
No. It's timing.
It's timing. It's a timing issue. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, especially
it sounds like they're wearing handcuffs, guys. Not gonna lie.
In November and December, everyone
they're backed into a corner because they know that if they want to get into you, sure. There's a 2-month span.
We are talking to the mob boss. This is the mob boss here.
Be careful. Watch yourself walking out of here. Okay.
But think about it. November and December, everyone's spending money left and right.
Sure.
Right.
Anyway. Right.
Yeah, right.
Like so, I think that's always been.
And I think another thing too is we're not talking about raising prices like $50 a service, unless you haven't raised them in 50 years, then maybe you're undercharging a little bit. But it's like, if you're doing it yearly, you're probably just doing your maybe 10%, something like that to keep up with the rising cost of life. So something like that, people aren't even going to notice. You don't need to make a big thing of it. Put a little placard on your station, a little message on your website as a business. Like you're saying, you are starting to, then you're a business. You're not just like, hey guys, color is more expensive, so I think I need to raise my prices by, like, you need to be fucking sure. Not like, is that cool? Is that gonna be okay? Oh, but Ryan,
you don't need
I've been coming to you.
Instagram about it.
And that's what everybody freaks out about, having that conversation, which doesn't happen. And if it does, that's probably not the right client for you anyways. If they don't appreciate coming to you, spending an extra $10 a service, then that's fine. The other time I suggest raising prices too is when you're full. When you look ahead and you're just like, I am booked solid for the next 2 months. What am I going to do?
Hold on, Ryan. Yeah. I'm going to hold you to that a little bit. But what is that number? Right? It can't be just like 2 months. Is it like 3 weeks pre-booked? Is it like 2 months pre-booked? Like what is that number?
I think it's whatever you're comfortable with as a business owner in your life. I think
this is a cop-out answer.
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on how much money you got in savings because you are taking a little bit of a gamble. But the thing is, the way to take the gamble out of that, I would say maybe if you're booked out 6 to 8 weeks pretty solidly, consistent income, and it's not just like busy season stuff. It's like throughout the year, like you've reached that level where it's like, okay, in January, February, March, like I'm consistently booked 6 to 8 weeks out. Then you start raising your prices. You can test new prices, not on your current clients, but make room for your new clients, because we should always be taking new clients. Test the prices out on them. If they start coming in, paying those prices, not bitching about it, then suddenly it's like, okay, my new prices work. And then you give your other clients a couple months to adjust. That way some will have that opportunity to think like, okay, can I still do this and afford it? This luxury service is a luxury service. You either can or can't afford it. It's not our job to make it affordable for you. Then at that point, you're going to lose some clients, but you've already tested the waters with your new prices, and you're going to be filling those empty seats that are coming up in 2 months with new clients that are going to be paying you more. And because they're paying more, you're not going to need as many clients.
Yeah.
That's been the big shift for me post-COVID too, because I kind of came up in like a almost like a summit world. It's like 3 or 4 heads an hour, which is great for what it is, right? But then during COVID, I was like, I don't want to work this way anymore,
Right?
And that's when I had to start to jump up my prices, because I was like, now I've got to.
We're getting older, buddy. I know the grays in the beard, like not both of us.
I know.
Yeah, it's like we can't be double, triple booking like we used to, man. It's just like we got, real issues.
Well,
Get out of bed's tough some days.
Our ideal clients want to get in with us easier. Like every time I would raise my prices, like my clients like, "God, you're so hard to get in with," and then I raise my prices, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's easier to get in." And then they were happy. So it's like we think that they're going to leave us, and we're going to lose all our income when actually we're.
Is the 80-20 rule fair in this situation? Like if you raise your prices 20%, you lose 20% of your clients. You're breaking even,
That's
and you're
fine.
never going to lose 20% of your clients.
Yeah,
you might lose
most
10%,
likely you're not going to.
So you're still making money, and you have space open for those that are willing to pay like the higher, the bigger prices as well.
Yeah, you always have to have space in your schedule. And that was one mistake that I made early on, is like I was booked out like 6 months in advance. I'm like, I'm so successful. And then I'm like, I'm fucking burned out. I can't plan a vacation or a day off. If a client
can't get sick.
If I get sick or a client gets sick and they're one of my best clients, but I don't have any time, then I got to come in on a Saturday or Sunday because I love them so much. And I want to keep them around. You got to have some kind of flexibility in your schedule. And the best way to create that flexibility is to raise your prices. It doesn't have to be an earth-shattering price, but you need to raise it enough so that you always have new clients coming in and they're paying more money, and you're going to be making more money. And that's how we 2x, 3x, make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year behind the chair.
That's amazing.
One of the conversations I have often is people will raise their prices, or they'll change their schedule, whatever. They'll start to lose clients, and they freak out.
Yeah.
Because they see that gap that they're not used to. And even if they're making the same amount of money or more money, they will freak out because they see a gap in their schedule. And it's the thing they asked for. Right? They ask for extra time. So I think that's another conversation, is kind of finding that safety and like, okay, things are going to look a little different, and that's okay.
It's okay.
That's a big conversation I have often.
I think that we, like our ego's tied onto a full book. Right.
1,000%.
And it's, I think it's the way that we've been trained ever since hair school.
Right.
It's what, and I'm a big proponent of pre-booking, by the way, but it's like pre-book so your book looks full.
Right.
Do these things so it looks full,
Yeah.
or like backed up when it's like 4 clients per hour and stuff
Well,
like
it's
that.
a self-worth thing too.
You're like,
right?
hell yeah,
Like,
I'm
totally.
important.
Yeah.
People want to get into me. There's just no time. I'm sorry,
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, heh, heh.
But I think that's just the way that we've been trained. So when you see those holes, literally that. It's not what's in the bank or in your pocket, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
literally those holes that are in the book, and like,
One of the other problems though that we have as hairstylists that needs to be solved individually is when we are that successful and we're making all this money, what do? We spend all that fucking money. We need to start saving that money, start investing that money, but we've never been taught that.
Nope.
That's never been taught, because that once you actually start to have a little bit of a nest egg and it keeps growing and growing with all the new money you're making, instead of going out and buying fucking Gucci shoes to show like, hey, this is how successful I am. I wear them on my feet. Like, sure, go buy yourself nice things, but only if you are successful on the back end, on that where they can't see it.
Yeah.
If you can buy a house, if you can buy tangible assets, if you have a growing 401k, if you have a growing IRA, if you have investments that are continuing to make money, then you can go buy those nice things. Then you can have a gap in your schedule. You can take a vacation, and you know that you're still going to be making money.
Yeah.
Once your priority becomes like putting money in the bank, the Gucci shoes have no value.
Right.
That's what's amazing, right? Have you guys seen that video?
It's all ego. I mean, but it's like,
1,000%.
it's ego. It makes you feel good. I get it. Like I buy
We've all been
expensive
there.
shit.
Yeah, we've all been there. Have you seen that video that Shaquille O'Neal did about wealth? It's amazing. So he when he was young, his first contract, he got his first like little check out of college was like $1 million, right? It was like a signing bonus, and like he spent it in 2 days, right? And the bank,
I could do that easy.
Easy, right? Well, the bank called him and like, what the fuck, bro? And whoever his banker was like, dude, you're a really good dude. Let me help you here.
Yeah.
And then he started to like talk to him about finance and stuff. And then he started like his circle got, now it's like multimillionaires and billionaires and all this, and this was a circle. And Shaq asked like a billionaire, he goes, how do you create like what's it called? Family wealth, like generational wealth.
Yeah.
How do you create that? And he goes, let me show you something. He took a dollar bill and he split it in half. He said, the rich spend half their money. The wealthy save 3/4 of the money. You have fun with 1/4 of your money, and you save the 3/4, and that's generational wealth. And that's what you start building. And I thought that it was such a great, like, Jen Plank used to do this thing about the dollar and how much it costs to run a business, and it kind of impacted me like that, like, oh, that's the ticket there, and make your lifestyle within the 25%, not within. For us, the 150%.
I mean, that's why I preach, financial care is self-care, period.
Absolutely.
I was the stylist who was like, oh, I was just a hairstylist. I didn't go to college. I can't afford this house, blah, blah. And it wasn't until I actually was like, oh, shit, I'm going to learn how to, like, manage my money that I was able to move into these places. And then you actually have that, like, oh, my God, my career is, like, a legit career. Like, this isn't just a hobby. This isn't just, like, a hairstylist.
And a big misconception is that, like, well, I don't have money to invest. Literally $10 a week, anything to starts compounding that interest. And before you know it, if it's out of sight, out of mind, doing its thing, don't look at it. Just let it
be.
Breathe and just keep putting a little bit. $5 a day, $5 a week, whatever you can do at the time. You're going to look back on it in a year, 2 years, 5 years, and you'd be like, holy shit, I didn't know I had thousands of dollars in there or tens of thousands of dollars in there. Like, then once you're able to take money out of the equation, life is insane. It's amazing.
You're not living in survival mode anymore.
Right, right. You can actually be who you were meant to be. But we're all in this grasp of fear, of financial fear all the time until we are able to free ourselves or at least have a sizable enough rainy day fund to be like, I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm doing it right. It's going to take some time, but like, I'm not worried about my next paycheck.
I have a question for you.
For me? For Ryan?
Yeah,
don't look at me, look at Ryan.
I'm the guest here, buddy.
I didn't want to interrupt you here. So I saw in your stories last night that you are, y'all have launched a color line.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. Something you said last night really like, with my starting messy, of course, I was like, I like that. You said that you almost gave up a couple times and it got expensive.
It's very
so let's talk a little bit about financial risk with, going to that next level.
Going back to the whole investing thing, because once I started to build my own business and learn about investing and putting money away, I mean, this is how this was even possible. We don't have investors. We wanted to do this all on our own because I wanted to create a color line on my terms, on our terms, as opposed to like having a board that's like, no, Ryan, we need you to act this way. We need you to do it this way. This is what the people want. When I know what people want, what the stylists want, what their challenges are. So we built it according to how we wanted to. And yes, the risk in that involved, I mean, we didn't know it was going to take 3 years. We knew it wasn't going to be overnight, but 3 years in the making. We wanted to make sure every single color was perfect. I mean, there's a lot of great color lines out there now, but the biggest difference I think I see is a lot of them are big, huge companies, and they have like, oh, they're really known for their reds. They're really known for their violets. They're really known for their vivids. They're really known for this. We want every single one of our shades to be one that you're going to reach for before you reach for somebody else's, right? Like that's one of our tagline is where every shade is your new favorite.
Oh, I like
that.
Oh,
that's a good tagline.
Which is why it took us 3 years. We were out in
Italy
developing it over it. Oh, what's that?
Did a board come up with that tagline?
It was either me or AI or a combo. I don't know. That's another thing. If you're not using AI, holy shit. Time saver, incredible.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're not using AI, just
make sure you go over it, because there's been times I'm like, yeah, it's good enough, and then throw it out there and you'll see like the little AI glitches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really good. It gets you. We're going to transition into. I don't want to. I actually want to spend time on the color, but we'll go to AI real quick. It's like it gets you about 95% there.
Yeah.
It does the work.
Yeah.
Right, and now you just kind of have to clean it up.
Yes, you got to massage it and make it sound like you.
Yeah.
The worst thing and I bet we all agree with this. Like, I hate writing my bio.
Oh.
Right? Because you're not objective at all, right? Like on the other, I'm like, I haven't done anything,
You're right. Right.
So I love having AI write my bio, and because AI is so easy, I can change my bio literally every week. You know what I mean? So I'll ask it to to ask me questions to write my bio.
Yeah.
And the real hack of AI is having it ask you questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the hack, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I want you to create this for me, ask me some questions so I can help you better formulate the answer.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Fun.
So, dude, that is a big undertaking.
Yeah.
And congratulations, because it's out.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, in our booth, too. You were mentioning the 2-story booths earlier, and ours is 2 stories, and it's sick.
Yeah.
It's
and you got
awesome.
the DJ.
Yeah, we got a DJ. It's like spring break up there. I know. I was looking across at some of the other booths are just looking at our noise and like, okay. But you know what? It's our launch. This is what we're doing. Our speaker system is badass.
It is. Oh, you're over top of it.
We've got education all day long.
You know what's really cool is that your speakers are so high that it actually it goes over everyone else's noise.
Yeah.
Like you can hear it like on the other side. Yeah, you totally can. You know, I have a DJ in the room right now.
Hey, what here? Oh,
yeah, Miss Sophia.
Nice. Let's kick it up.
We should. She was saying yesterday that she wants to get on your DJ board. She wants to cut it up some. There you go.
Nice.
She does. You played last night, right? She played the Hanzo party last night.
That's
bit.
badass.
Awesome.
That's badass.
For a couple minutes. That's pretty dope. Last 20 minutes you did. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
That's really cool, right? Yeah. So the 2-level booth. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When did that happen? Was I wrong? Like everyone used to have like a 10x10 with a black curtain, and now
there haven't been a lot of 2 stories. I mean, I know Danger Jones has one. They had one originally, but I think even Pulp had one back when.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But there weren't many, and there aren't many, and I think there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah,
fire marshals and there's a number of reasons too. But just the logistics behind it, the safety behind it. They're up until the day before the show, we're like, well, we got this booth. We're not sure if they're going to approve it.
Oh no!
Like
really?
we had a plan B. We had all these things in mind to do in case they're like it doesn't match our standards. Because what we did differently than a lot of other companies do, and I'm sure they probably don't want me saying this, but like if you're doing a booth, there's companies that build these booths, right? And the amount of money they charge for these booths to build them, to fucking rent them. The quotes that we got were like, for something like ours, it was like $150K or something to rent.
To rent.
They'll build it, but you rent it. And you can rent it again for another show. But like, that's just straight marketing costs you're throwing out there. Sure. We're just like, one, like we're broke from the color. It's like, I'm like, I can't spend any more money. Like, we're barely surviving until this point. And that's why we almost pulled the plug on it several times. I'm like, we were supposed to come out last year with our color, but the reds weren't perfect. And I'm like, we got to launch it. And then in internal meetings, we're like, we can't. We're this close. We've got to get this red perfect. Then we got the red perfect. And then everything started to happen. We're like, we just got to hold out for a few more months before we got to start making some big decisions. And then we're just like, we finally got here. And then we got to this booth and we can't afford 150, but we also don't want to have a shitty showing for our big launch.
Right.
So we started to look at what happens to these booths after is like the ones that they don't want to renew or people don't want to use them again, they'll sell them. So we're like, these are some options. This looks like a pretty cool booth. It's like really bare bones. We still need to add some things to it, because we wanted to paint it and things like this, but it's like it is what it is. Let's buy it. And I think we bought it for like $16,000.
Cool.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it's ours. We own that shit.
Where do you store it?
It's a big fucking thing. Yeah. We actually have a big warehouse space in Orlando. It's just north of Orlando. So we have a warehouse here in Florida where we have all of our products.
That's good.
My COO
That's
lives here too. Yeah. So that's where he works the warehouse and handles all that back end there. We've got great relationships with, I don't know, it's like FedEx or one of the companies that we used, and they have a place that they can store it until we get into our newer, bigger warehouse. Yeah. So it's just a lot of strings are being pulled spiritually, I feel like, for us to make all these things happen. I mean, there are things like product arriving minutes before it's about to run out. Like, we've found a way over every single challenge. And one thing that we talk about in our company is there's no problems, only solutions. That's our mindset.
I love that as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes is, I only want to talk about your problem once, and then I want to talk solutions.
I love that. I love that, right?
That. Yeah.
Right. I kind of do that in life. Like if I've messed up or something, I give myself 12 hours and then that's it.
Oh, I like that.
So I'm only allowed to but I give myself a full 12 hours. No, and for me,
just full on crying.
Just for me.
Yeah.
I beat myself up.
In a corner.
Yeah. Like I was like, I can't believe I fucking said that to Ryan. That was a terrible thing. Where was I? And then by beating myself up, I start to investigate. Like, was it my ego that was out of control? Was it this that was out of control? Like what was it? And then at the 12 hours, okay, it's done.
Right.
Now it's just time to move forward. And I mean, with that goes like, do I owe Ryan an apology? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like,
but you
I
start
think
working
you
on
do.
solutions at that time. You
so-
beat yourself up, but then you start to look introspectively, thinking, okay, where did I go wrong? Was it my fault?
Where
And if
did
it
I
was
go
my fault, how do I make up for what I did?
Here's my philosophy to this, and again, this is all internal, so it may work for you, it may not. The moment that I'm not beating myself up when I know that I messed up, my ego takes over and says that was Ryan's fault.
Yep.
What did Ryan do to me to make me react that way?
Yeah.
But by beating myself up, I'm like, fuck, I didn't show up the way that I wanted to.
Sure.
And even if it's 100% Ryan's fault, quote, we'll put that in quote.
It usually is.
It usually is. That's what your wife said. She said, will you bring this up?
Right.
Ryan's fault. But within that, even if I felt like I was slighted or he did slight me or whatever, I still am responsible for a response.
Right.
And I can kind of like dissect like what should have that response been. But 99 to 100% of the time, it's always my own ego. Or that a blind spot within my ego in that moment.
Yeah.
But then it allows me, and I also beat myself up because it hurts, and I never want to repeat it. As opposed to blaming Ryan, and then like now I can blame Misty next time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
that makes it the easy thing, but I don't want that. It's like put it on me.
And plus, we know hate and anger doesn't help anybody.
Nope.
So we can be mad at somebody else, but is it going to help us? And who do I want to be in the future? Is this who I want to be? Do I want to be somebody who has a grudge all the time? I mean, sure, if you do something to me, it's like I'm never going to forget. I'll forgive you. But I'm not going to, So you'll always maybe step back a little bit from that person and know what the lines are of trust there. But there's no reason to be like, I fucking hate you, man.
I know. For what, right?
Because you never know when you're going to cross paths in the future.
Yeah, I used to do this exercise where you would write like 10 things you're grateful for every morning, and then you always send love to somebody you hate or you're frustrated with. Like you would write it out, and you would just send them love, like if you were mad at them or whatever.
Ooh, I
and
don't
it was
know about
really,
that.
it was actually.
You just said that. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
It was pretty
Yeah, no, I'm
powerful
kidding.
because it kind of gives a different perspective, right?
But hold on. But are you
absolutely.
literally sending love
No,
to
no,
them?
no,
It's just internally.
Internal.
Internal.
Yeah, no.
She just sends a heart. It messages
No.
I'm watching you.
They don't have to. They don't have to know we're sending.
You don't
love.
have- you don't
yeah.
Right.
This is cool. I love this conversation, by the way. This is where I'm at. And like my thing this year is like I want to live in gratitude, not in regret.
Yes.
Because to me, on the other, if there's the other side of regret is gratitude. You know what I mean? And if you just take a second to be like, what are you grateful for in this situation?
You can't not be upset. You can't not be angry. It can only fuel joy and happiness.
This is it, right?
And hope, right?
This is it. And and also like I'm also getting to the point where the world owes me nothing. You know what I mean? So any opportunity that comes, I'm grateful for,
Yeah.
and any opportunity that was a near miss, I'm also grateful for. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
that, even just to be in the situation, to be thought of in any kind of I don't know where exactly where I'm going with this, but in any kind of manner, I'm also grateful for.
Yeah.
Because we've created all of this. Even through all the frustrations of what owning a business is.
Sure.
Right. Like.
Sure.
You can't complain. You wanted you wanted this, like your younger self, that guy that was searching for himself 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You wanted all this, and now you've got it.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can be like, my day sucks.
And we knew it wasn't going to be easy. You know, success isn't easy. It doesn't just fall in your lap.
Unless you're Bronny James.
Right, yeah, for sure. But you still got to work hard. You still have to have that
fair
talent.
enough.
But there, one of the most life-changing things I heard recently, and it's insane how well it works. I was listening to a quick talk of Mel Robbins, and
love
she's
Mel.
very insightful and intelligent. And she said something too, because she was plagued with anxiety, and she's like, well, there's one way to crush anxiety almost instantly when you're having it, when you're panicking, because we go into this like, I'm afraid of this. What if the plane crashes? What if my color fails? She's like, I need you to twist the way you say that, because that goes into negative spiraling. Instead, what if it works out?
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, so what if the color fails? Oh, fuck. Well, then I got to shift money here. I got to do this. I got to fire some people here. We got to move some pieces around and kind of go back to this. But what if it works out? And you're just like, wow, what if it works out?
What if it works
Then like the heavens open up. The opportunities open up. The opportunities for impact open up. And it's like that mindset. It's impossible to not be hopeful. It's impossible to be anxious when you're looking at something so positive. Tony Robbins also said an exercise too that he used to do was go into the mirror and just smile for 5 minutes straight, like literally 5 minutes, and try to be upset.
I love
just
that.
just like in the mirror, because essentially you're gonna look at yourself like I look like a moron. Like look at this, I'm just a gleeful moron, and you walk out of there just like I feel great.
I feel like a gleeful moron, and that's okay.
Yeah, right.
That's okay.
Right. You don't feel upset. You don't feel anxious. You don't feel angry.
Well, that's the thing. So many people are walking around waiting for the next shoe to drop. When something's good, it's like, oh, something's going to mess up.
Yeah.
Something's going to and it's going to if you keep focusing on it, you know. But if you can look around and go, show me how good it can be for how long.
Yeah.
You know, it's
For
like
how long?
you're going to find it.
Yeah.
You know?
A practice that Katie hates this, by the way. My partner Katie, she hates this, but it's just the way that I have to be, because I think we have this is going to sound the opposite of what we were just talking about, but we have so few opportunities to celebrate ourselves and to celebrate our successes, like in a real way. Like after Presley Poe and Friends each year, we can't talk about the show for a week, because all I want to live in is the glory of what that brought. Because I can easily go like, we should have done this should have happened. And 9 times out of 10, and you'll definitely know this, is that everything that like you saw, nobody saw.
Right.
You're right.
Like nobody knew that was supposed to happen at that time. And so what if we're 5 minutes late? You know, because nobody knew, right? But I don't want to have any of those conversations literally until the following Monday. And then we can dissect, then we can look at this. What should we do better next year? But I want to live in the glory of that, because we never give ourselves the opportunity to do that.
Sure.
You know, and after your show, you're going to see 1,000, as you know, you're going to see 1,000 things that could have been better. But give yourself the opportunity to live in the glory of what you did. And it's the same kind of mindset, right?
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
what you've done. And then
take note of it, but don't put emotion behind it.
Don't put any
You're like,
emotion
okay, we could do this next time. It's great to always be thinking about how you can evolve, how you can better yourself, but don't be like, oh shit, we should have done that, or I wish we did this, or the sign's not perfect, or it's crooked, and this. Instead, you're like, okay, so we got to fix the sign, make a little note, and then you're saying revisit it later, but don't attach emotions to it, because for something like this, for something like our big passion projects, we need to be on. And by being on we need to be our full, positive, authentic self. We can't harbor doubt. When the stage is about to burn down and you're about to go on, you can't be like, go out there with that, like, hey guys, I don't, with that trepidation. You gotta be like, what's up, motherfuckers? I'm here. You know, you gotta go out there and energy and inspire. And the real reason you're there has zero. With the things that happen, something always happens. Just know, like, this is show business. You know, this is entertainment.
There's never, ever in the history of man, including weddings or anything else, been a live event where something didn't go.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Never.
100%.
You know, so, like, that also helps me. Like, when you're in it, you're like, this is just what the thing is right now.
Right.
Yep.
You know, this is just it. It's supposed to be this way.
Right.
You know, but I got to tell you, being in my 50s is the greatest thing ever, because, like, being in my 50s is my healing. You know, it's like I've beat myself up long enough. You know, in the conversation I've had with myself, long enough.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been really, really great. And it's so funny how it's generational, but looking back, it's definitely I mean, as far as like every decade, I can see like, oh, that's where I was.
Yeah.
I remember being in my 20s and being like, oh, I'll look successful when I'm 30, because 30-year-olds have it together.
Oh yeah, I'll have a real job. We'll have some money in the bank.
All
and they're
this,
like,
right?
they're already like, oh shit.
Right. Or then even as a hairdresser, it was like, well, when I'm 30, they'll think that I'm a real hairdresser.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, when I turned 30, I felt like everyone's going to take me serious now.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. I turned 40 this year, this past March, and this is the first like year that I'm walking in and I'm like, I actually like really know who I am now. You know, I'm like, why did it take so long?
And it gets better and better and better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the last 40 years is setting me up for the next 40, you
That's
know,
it.
which is exciting, you know?
That
Right.
is. It's really cool. And the inner talk is like, I now have control over the inner talk. Or I know how to, with the opposite inner talk.
Well, you know how to look at it as not necessarily like all of you. Like you can go, that's my inner talk right there. Let's have a chat, because we're not doing this today.
Yeah, one of the big learns, I forget, Michael Singer, his book.
That's
the one.
Yeah. And Untethered Soul.
That's it.
That one. Yeah.
The one thing that I took
that
out of it,
book.
maybe this is the overall thing about it though, is that you are not, your thoughts are not you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
if you can disconnect from your thoughts, or even like have that conversation, like, it's not, I actually heard of a practice like somebody actually named their thoughts.
That's
like
what I
named it
do.
like Betty.
My coach has me, I have Tina, I have Deb, and I have Shannon. And I have little chats with them like, hey, you're taking the day off. Okay, we're not doing this. My coach actually, he was saying that those thoughts are something when you were growing up that was put on you. So your higher self is like who you were before the society and all the, shit happened to you. And I like thinking about it like that, because it's like, okay, I don't necessarily need that voice anymore. Thank you very much.
That doesn't serve me. That's
No,
my question all the
no.
time in terms
It
of,
served
is this
me at
serving
some point.
Sure.
And thank you.
Thank you for
gratitude,
serving me. Right.
But
Thank you.
I'm done with
time
you now.
to move on.
Yeah.
Well, I love the book too. One of my biggest takeaways from The Untethered Soul was that those thoughts that come to you, the negative thoughts, the negative self-talk, it's your inner roommate. And it's like, it's just imagine the time when you had a roommate and imagine somebody constantly yelling at you, telling you how bad you are, how stupid you are, how fat you are, how unsuccessful you are. Would you still room with them?
No.
Or would you just be like, shut the fuck up and I'm moving out?
Yep.
And then you can start to look at it like this little annoying inner roommate that you have. It's just like, it's not important to me because that's not me. You know, this is me. This is me that takes charge, that moves on.
That's amazing. Yep. That's awesome. Ryan, where can people find you? Where can they find tickets to
room? What room is this? They can find me here for the next 3 minutes. Yeah.
3 minutes or so, and then we're out.
Yeah. Mastersofbalayage.com is our hub for everything. You can find our online education there, links to that, links to get your starter kit at Soho, which is just fucking incredible color line. It's, I mean, unbiased. It's the best color. It's the best color line that I could possibly imagine.
That's cool.
I wouldn't reach for anything else. And I've used them all, and I love other color brands. You know, I've worked with a lot of them, and they're fantastic. But, like, this is my baby. This is what we love. And I think the coolest, there's a lot of cool attributes to it. We have this scent. It's called Soho Bloom. So it's an experience. You go in there, and you don't feel like you don't smell like color. You have this, like, it's like spa, right? It's very refreshing.
You don't smell like grandma?
Yeah, no. And it's
right?
58 shades that we have available, and they're convertible into demi with the change of our 5. But it's 100% gray coverage, and the gray coverage fades without a line of demarcation. What? It's like Harry Potter magic. I don't know how it happens.
But it happens.
It happened. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you can also get hero tickets there as well?
You can get hero tickets there. Yeah, just go there for everything. And if
I'm
you
so excited.
enjoyed this chat, please send me a message on Instagram at ryan.weeden.
At Ryan.Weeden. Misty, thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thanks for having
Ryan,
me.
dude, thanks
Thank
again.
you guys. Really appreciate you.
Thanks for inviting us to here. I'm super mega stoked for it and excited for it. I can't wait to get down there in Nashville and do the Nashville things and be down there and hanging out with you guys. Mr. Ryan Weeden, the mob boss. Thank you very, very much.
Today.
Thank you very, very much for joining us on your day off.